All right. Well, I will let you lead the way with divisions.
I say we go AFC first, starting with the AFC West.
The AFC West. Well, it's no shock who I have winning the AFC West, and that's the Kansas City Chiefs. And I actually don't have them losing a division game. I have them going 6-0 in division, 14-3 overall, and they're my number one seed in the AFC.
Yeah, I have them going 15-2, winning the West. I think they're poised to win another one, unfortunately. So, yeah, they'll be really good. Obviously, Pat Mahomes, and you still have Kelsey for at least one more year. I think their defense has improved. So, yeah.
Who do you got finishing number 2?
I have the LA Chargers finishing second at 10-7 and making the playoffs as a wild card team.
I have them finishing second at 9-8, 2-4 in the division, but missing the playoffs as a 9 seed.
I have them at 10-7, so we're right, same wavelength a little bit. Who do you got finishing third?
I got the Denver Broncos at 7-10, 2-4 in the division.
I also have the Broncos finishing 7-10, finishing third.
And then last, I got the Las Vegas Raiders. I about said Oakland. Going 2-4 as well in the division, but 5-12 overall.
I also have the Raiders at 5-12, so we are pretty much right there in the AFC West.
How many weeks do you think till Gardner Minshew gets benched for Aiden O'Connell?
5.
I was thinking 5, 6.
See, especially if they start out, 1-4 or something like that, or 2-3 even.
And even though I'm an Aiden fan, I think they'll be in the market for a quarterback in the draft.
They should be, and I think they'll be bad enough where they can get a top 10 pick or whatever. So, AFC North, I have the Baltimore Ravens winning that division at 13-4.
All right, AFC North, I have the Cincinnati Bengals winning that division at 13-4, 4-2 in the division, as in the 4 seed in the playoffs.
I have the Cincinnati Bengals finishing second at 12-5 and making the playoffs.
I got the Baltimore Ravens second at 11-6, 4-2 in the division, and 5 seed.
I have the Cleveland Browns finishing 8-9, finishing third.
I got the Steelers third at 7-10, 2-4 in the division.
I believe Russell Wilson was named the starter today.
Captain today. Starter last week, captain today. Okay. One of the 4 captains.
I knew I saw him in the headline somewhere. However, this is one that was kind of a surprise to me because they probably won't be this bad, but I have the Steelers finishing fourth at 3-14. At the end of the year, I'm sure they'll be right around 500, even over, honestly. But as the schedule lined up on the pick'em, I had them 3-14.
So how many in your theory, how many games till Fields takes over for Russell Wilson?
I'll go 4 or 5 again because I think Russell's time's done. And honestly, he doesn't have more weapons to throw to or anything that he had in Denver. And Arthur Smith has been proven to be a bad offensive mind. So
I'm totally prepared for him week 2 to go out to Denver, throw for 400 yards, 5 touchdowns.
Yeah.
Beat the Broncos.
Of course.
I have the Cleveland Browns last at 6-11, 2-4. I know a lot of people are pricking the Browns to make the playoffs. I'm not a believer. I'm not a believer.
Yeah. Deshaun Watson was the most inaccurate quarterback in the NFL last year. And they played better when Joe Flacco was in there. And he's the reason why they made the playoffs. So, yeah, right there with you. AFC East.
This is one of those that shocked me after I was done. I got the Jets at 14-3.
Holy mackerel.
4-2 in the division.
I have the Buffalo Bills winning again at 13-4. That surprised me, but I think their schedule was fairly easy. Considering. So, yeah, Bills winning that one. I have the Jets third at 9-8. So we're way off there. And
I think that's more realistic. I don't know.
It could be more wishful thinking on my part too, and they'll probably be somewhere in between like 11-6 or something like that. But the whole Jets narrative or the shtick with the morning show with Greenberg and Bart Scott and those guys, Damian Woody, all Jets guys for one.
Yeah,
is getting old. And Jeff Darlington this week was on there, and Greeny said the Jets are the number 1 threat to the Kansas City Chiefs, and Darlington went off and he said, "We've been hearing this for 2 years. We need to see it first." And he's not wrong because week 1 they have a real tough game, and Rodgers is 40 years old, coming off a major injury. We'll just have to see. I don't know.
Yeah, if they go 14-3 on the 2 seed, like I said, Twitter's gonna be insufferable.
It's going to be brutal. I'm going to have to deactivate.
We already got a sample of it from the Knicks.
Yeah, and
You
that's
know?
and I don't even follow NBA stuff, and it's still somehow crept into my
Right,
timeline.
right,
So,
right.
But
I got the Bills second in the division, in the 6th seed, making the playoffs at 11-6, 4-2 in the division.
I have the Dolphins finishing 10-7 once again. I think they're 11-6 last year. Now that I say that, I think they'll be a little worse this year. They still have the same guys throwing the ball. Tyreek said today he hasn't seen OBJ in a week, so who the heck knows what's going on there? I mean, he's starting the year on the PUP list anyway.
Yeah, but that guy just
So they have the same pass catchers, the offensive line scares me to death. Defensively, I think they'll be better with their new DC from Baltimore. I think they'll be around the same. Their schedule is okay, especially early. I think they'll start off hot again. They should on paper, and then they'll probably tank towards the end of the year once again. But I have them in there. I think I have them the 6th seed. 6th seed.
I have the Dolphins also 10-7, 4-2 in the division, just making the playoffs as a 7th seed. So,
yeah, I think that's a pretty fair top 3, and there's a very clear number 4 there, which I have the New England Patriots again starting Jacoby Brissett, which I think is a very wrong move because I think Drake May will be starting by week 4. So what's the point of putting yourself in a hole for 4 games?
That's what I was saying about the Broncos.
Exactly. Very smart. Just start the rookie. You're going to go to him halfway through at the.
You're going to have some growing pains, but that's how they get better. So.
Exactly, and so that's why I have the Patriots at 3-14, finishing dead last.
You ready for this?
Yeah.
0-17. I had no idea either. I thought I picked them 3 or 4 times. I'm like, well, they're not going to be that bad, even though I do think they're going to be bad. But 0-17.
That would be classic.
Couldn't have a better fan base.
AFC South, who you have winning it?
I got the Houston Texans at 13-4, 5-1 in the division.
I'm buying the Houston Texans. This whole Super Bowl talk, I'm not buying, however. But I do have them winning the division at 10-7. I think they'll be pretty good.
What do you got finishing second?
Jacksonville Jaguars at 8-9. Big year. I know Lawrence just signed the extension. He's not going anywhere, but he was not that good last year. And maybe a big year for Doug Peterson, too.
Right. I got Jacksonville at second as well, 9-8, 5-1 in the division. So going pretty good in the division, but just missing the playoffs as the 8th seed. Mm-hmm. So
I have the Indianapolis Colts finishing third at 7-10. Anthony Richardson, he looked okay when he was playing, but he just never played. He had a bunch of concussions, injury issues, and they have a really good backup in case he does get injured in Joe Flacco. It'll be interesting to see his development this year and if he can develop as a passer, because that was the question mark coming out of college, and it remains to be seen.
I got the Colts third in that division as well at 6-11, only 1-5 in the division. I'm pretty sure that's a home game against the Titans, if I'm not mistaken. So just a lot of question marks on the roster for me.
Mm-hmm. Both have Titans finishing fourth. I have them 3-14. I think I got them
3-14 as well, 1-5 in the division. I think them and the Patriots are going to be the worst 2 teams in the league.
And if they do go 3-14 with Will Levis, I think they'll be in the market for a first round quarterback.
Yep. I do as well.
NFC East, I have the Dallas Cowboys winning that one at 13-4.
NFC East, I have the Dallas Cowboys at 13-4, winning the division as well, 5-1 in the division, 3rd seed in the NFC.
Yeah, this is the year they need to do something in the postseason, or Dak's going to be called out. I think McCarthy. I mean, if they go 13-4, you'd have a hard time firing your head coach. But if you are one and done in the playoffs again, there's reason to believe that I think Jerry would do it. So this one surprised me. Not that I have them finishing second. I have the Rams finishing second, but I have them at 13-4.
Who, the Eagles?
The Rams. Oh, I'm going to jump out. Yeah, that's good. No, I have the Eagles. I'm sorry, finishing second at 12-5.
Okay. I was so confused there for a second. What are we doing? I got the Eagles finishing second, 11-6, 5-1 in the division, 6th seed in the NFC.
Yeah, their captain, Jason Kelce, has retired, so it'll be interesting to see how their offensive line responds. Still too much talent. I'm not a huge believer in Jalen Hurts, especially MVP Jalen Hurts. He wasn't that great last year, and they struggled down the stretch and then got whooped by Tampa in the playoffs. So, but I think they'll be good. 12-5, big year for their head coach Nick Sirianni, though.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
That season went downhill for them quick, and then the playoff game at Tampa was a disaster.
Yeah.
So, third in that division, I got the Giants finishing 5-12, 1-5 in the division.
Giants have 3-14. Daniel Jones is not the answer. He's bad, in fact. And I just think they'll be bad. They had a miracle year with Brian Dable when they were winning a bunch of close games, and that dried up last year. And I think they should be in the market for a quarterback heading into the next season.
And finishing last, I have the Commanders at 3-14, 1-5 in the division.
I have them 2-15. Could be a rough year, but at least you have a young quarterback to watch that makes it worth tuning in every week. But they, on paper, they're maybe the worst team in the NFL.
Yep.
One of the worst teams in the NFL.
Mm-hmm.
So.
What division's up next?
Now we do the NFC West, and I'll get it right this time.
Oh.
I have the San Francisco 49ers finishing 15-2. The Ayuk saga's over, but the Trent Williams one is beginning, as who knows if he's going to play week 1.
Death, taxes, Tanner having the Niners with a great record. I got them 15-2 as well, 5-1 in the division. Number 1 seed in the NFC.
Yeah, their schedule sets up
every year.
Easily. Yeah. As I hinted at, I'll say hinted at earlier. NFC West, I have the Rams finishing second. Their record's the one that surprised me. I have them 13-4.
Well, we're not too far off. I got them 12-5,
Yeah.
4-2 in the division, 5 seed in the NFC. So
yeah. I have the Seattle Seahawks finishing third at 7-10.
Exact 7-10. I got them 3-3 in the division, 10 seed.
Arizona Cardinals at 4-13.
I got them 2-15, not winning a division game, 16 seed. I think they move on from Kyler Murray after this year.
I do too. He has weapons to throw the ball to, Marvin Harrison Jr.
What other weapons?
That's I should have said he has a weapon to throw the ball to.
Yeah.
Non-plural.
Yeah.
They were they were a little bit of a surprise last year that they weren't 1-16.
Right.
But,
right.
Yeah, I don't think they're a very good roster whatsoever.
I don't either.
NFC North, I have the Detroit Lions winning that division 12-5.
I got the Lions winning via tiebreaker of their division record at 10-7, 4-2 in the division, so number 4 seed in the NFC.
I have the Packers 11-6.
Got the Chicago Bears 10-7, but 2-4 in the division, getting the 7th seed in the playoffs.
You talk all that trash about them not being a playoff team, and here we are.
Just went week by week, man, week by week. I'm not saying Super Bowl though.
Yeah,
I'm not saying Super Bowl.
I was listening to the Cubs coming home from work one night, and then I happened to keep it on 670 to the score. And then when I turned the car on in the morning this past week, they go, week 1 of the Chicago Bears. Next week, you have the best quarterback in Bears history in Caleb Williams. You have the most explosive offense in the NFL with Rome Odunze and DJ Moore and Keenan Allen. Tune in each week for our analysis. I have the Bears 8-9. They will be better. They should be better. And if they're not, Matt Eberflus should be canned. But then you're going to start the whole, another offensive coordinator, year 2 for Caleb Williams. And that you're going to start that string that they had with Trubisky and then Justin Fields. So I did see Eberflus has the highest odds for coach of the year heading into the season, which, they add all this talent. If he doesn't win with it, he should be fired. But
I got the Packers 3rd, just missing the playoffs as an 8 seed, 9-8, but 5-1 in the division. So I think they play the division strong. Just outside that, they struggle.
Yeah. Finishing 4th, I have the Minnesota Vikings. Think it'll be a rough year for them. Transition year with J.J. McCarthy being out now. I have them finishing 5-12.
I got them finishing 4-13, 1-5 in the division. I don't see them being very good.
Yeah. Last division here, the NFC South, where I have Tampa Bay Buccaneers repeating and winning that division at 11-6.
I'm high on the Falcons, I guess. I got them winning at 15-2 record, 5-1 in the division.
Yeah. I have the Falcons missing the playoffs, but being better and competitive at 10-7. New head coach there, new quarterback, Kirk Cousins. They drafted Michael Penix to sit behind him. Cousins struggles the first couple games, and he's coming off that major injury as well, like Aaron Rodgers.
I like their defense, though.
Yeah, then their defense was solid last year. They just couldn't score points. And Bijan Robinson year 2, he's poised for a massive breakout. So I think they'll be good, but I'm finishing second at 10-7.
I got the Bucks second, just missing the playoffs as a 9 seed, 8-9, 4-2 in the division.
I have the New Orleans Saints finishing third at 8-9. I think they'll be fairly mediocre once again.
Yeah, I got them 7-10, 2-4 in the division. Yeah, hold home.
And then we both have the Carolina Panthers, who should be, again, really, really bad this year at 2-15. I have them.
I got them 3-14, 1-5 in the division. Then the question is, do they move on from Bryce Young if they do that?
Yeah, I mean, looking back, hindsight's 2020. They should have taken C.J. Stroud, but again, hindsight's 2020, and it wasn't a slam dunk at that point. So
correct.
My wild card round, I have number 5 Cincinnati at number 4 Houston, and Houston moving on.
I have number 5 Baltimore at number 4 Cincinnati, and Cincinnati moving on.
I have number 6 Miami at 3 Buffalo. Buffalo moving on. Dolphins need to host a playoff game this year.
I got number 6 Buffalo at number 3 Houston, with the Texans moving on.
I have the Chargers at number 2 Baltimore, with Baltimore moving on.
I got the 7-seeded Dolphins at number 2 Jets, with the Jets moving on. Sorry, Josh.
That would kill me. Number 5 Rams at number 4 Tampa Bay, with the Rams moving on.
I got the rematch. Rams at Detroit. Same result. Detroit moving on.
I have Philly at Detroit. Detroit moving on.
I got Philly at Dallas, with Dallas moving on.
I have Green Bay at Dallas, with Dallas moving on.
Got Chicago at Atlanta, with Atlanta moving on.
I have Buffalo at Baltimore, with Baltimore moving on.
I have Houston at the Jets, with the Texans moving on.
I have Houston at Kansas City, with Houston moving on.
I got the Cincinnati Bengals going into Arrowhead, and Joe Burrow being the villain again, and the Bengals moving on.
I have who do I have as the 3 seed? For some reason, I put Minnesota down, but I have San Francisco moving on. Detroit at San Francisco, with San Francisco moving on.
I have Dallas on the road at Atlanta. Atlanta coming victorious in that one.
I have man, how did I screw this up so bad? I have looks like the LA Rams at number 1 seeded. Who did I have the number 1? San Francisco. Man, San Francisco moving on.
I thought you just said you had San Francisco and Detroit.
I have. I don't know how I screwed this up so bad. What's going on with me? I don't think I deleted this from last year, and I'm trying to piece it together. I did for the AFC. No, I have my conference matchups are Detroit, San Francisco, with San Francisco moving on. Houston at Baltimore, with Baltimore moving on. So I have Baltimore versus San Francisco in the Super Bowl.
Okay. I got a rematch over here in the NFC with Detroit at San Francisco, but Detroit pulls it off this time. So I have in the conference championships, I have Cincinnati at Houston and Detroit at Atlanta. Man. I have a Bengals-Falcons Super Bowl.
Oh, that'd be kind of cool.
I think I had the Bengals in the Super Bowl last year in my
probably.
So
big year for the Bengals. But Baltimore, San Francisco rematch 2012, and I have San Francisco winning their first one since the 90s.
They have to soon. You would hate it though. Billy would love it. You would hate it.
Absolutely hate it.
I have Atlanta taking home the Super Bowl, and then what do you do with Michael Penix? Because Kirk Cousins then's a Super Bowl champ.
I mean,
maybe he retires. I don't know.
He might ride off into the sunset.
I have the Falcons over the Bengals. Both have been Super Bowl losers in the past decade.